Hey, good morning everyone. Jake Weidenbach with Nash Power Sports. It's Monday morning and I just got done riding probably the most amazing street bike that I've ever experienced. That's this right here. This is a 2019 Kawasaki Ninja H2 SX and oh my goodness, this bike is amazing. It's starting to rain a little bit right now, so my goal is to get this bike washed along with my other bikes, get it put away, and then get it back to the store tomorrow morning without getting a speeding ticket. Man, this thing is fast. I could probably spend the next 30 minutes just talking about how fast this bike is, but that would be doing this bike a huge injustice because it's just overall an amazing machine. It's super fast, there's no doubt about that. The centerpiece of this bike is, of course, the 1-liter supercharged inline-4 engine that makes 197 horsepower. There are bikes that make more power than that, but nothing that makes it like this. Kawasaki's the only brand offering a supercharger on any of their bikes, and this bike makes a pretty compelling case that everything should be supercharged. Wow, what a motor. But the rest of the bike is unbelievably good as well. First of all, the quality and fit and finish on this bike are right up there with the best offerings from BMW and Ducati. Everything about the riding experience on this bike is top shelf and premium. There's just super nice attention to detail everywhere on it. The paint has this beautiful sparkle in it. When it's in the sun, you can see it. All of the surfaces are just really quality. The textures, everything to the touch. All of the fasteners and bolts are really premium. Everything is either powder coated or anodized or galvanized. So just a really nice bike. And this has got one of the most complete electronic packages you're ever going to find on a motorcycle. Everything about this is tunable. So you've got ride modes. There's a rain mode, which cuts the power significantly and makes the throttle response really user-friendly. That's probably the mode I would recommend for somebody that's on their first ride on this bike, just to get used to it. And then there's a road mode, which is nice and smooth, but it's also really powerful when you get on it. And then there's a sport mode, which I would only recommend using after you're comfortable with this bike and out in an area where you can really open it up. It's very sharp and very aggressive in sport mode. And man, the noises that this supercharger makes, it's just got this really sinister kind of shriek. If you look here, this tube runs all the way to the front, and that's an air intake. Obviously, this has got really aerodynamic, sculpted bodywork. Kind of makes me think of a fighter plane. Really hard to ride this bike and not be thinking about Top Gun references and hearing the music from Top Gun. Obviously, this is what Maverick rode in the new Top Gun movie. And definitely you feel like you're on a jet. Really, you do. Back to the electronics. So you've got fully electronic suspension. You can soften it or stiffen it up with the push of a button. You've got adjustable engine braking. You've got lean sensitive ABS, lean sensitive traction control, these cornering lights. So there's actually a gyroscopic sensor in the bike that senses lean angle. And when you're leaning into a corner, the light on the inside of the corner comes on and lights up the inside of the corner. So you have a better field of view through your corner at night. That's unbelievable. Heated grips, fully adjustable traction control. I would probably never turn off the traction control on this bike. You know, the electronics are what make this bike rideable for the average person. If this bike had no electronic protection, this thing would be a suicide machine. The electronics keep the power in check, keep the front tire on the ground, and keep you from baking off the rear tire. Let's see here. Styling, I love it. It's very aerodynamic. It's very cool looking. Lots of sculpted bodywork and sharp lines. I love these star wheels, and you can see the rear wheel is fully exposed because it's a single-sided swing arm. That's a really nice touch. Steel trellis frame lets you kind of see the architecture of the bike. This is simply the most amazing street bike that I've ever experienced. Would I buy it? No question. In fact, if I came into a big pile of money, this would be one of the first purchases I would make. It's that good. I love this thing. This bike is a tremendous value too. $17,999 for this bike. A brand new one is $28,000. And a 2024 version of this is pretty much the exact same machine. So whoever had this bike took amazing care of it. This is one of the pre-owned models at our store. It's a 2019 with about 17,000 miles on it. Generally, the people that buy a bike like this have very high credit scores. They're going to do all the maintenance on it. They're older guys that are very responsible. You're very seldom going to find one of these pre-owned that's not in really good condition. It's going to be garaged. That's just the type of person that buys this. It's got the touring luggage, which detaches like suitcases, so you can take that into a hotel room, you know, do a little multi-day road tour on it. One thing I would change about this bike, I have very little to nitpick about it, but you are still in a pretty aggressive sport riding position. I would probably find a way to lower the foot pegs maybe an inch so there's less bend in your knee, and maybe raise the bars up half an inch or an inch, and that would give you a little more upright riding position for longer distances. Other than that, this thing is spot on in every way. I really wouldn't change anything about it. You know, the owner of this put a pipe on it just to give it a little more sound. I would do that. It's also got these frame sliders, so if it did fall over, you wouldn't take out all this body work. I would say that's a very good idea that I would recommend as well. These dual 4-piston Brembo brakes up front are amazing. They bring this pretty quick. Yeah, they make two other versions of the H2. There's the actual H2, which is a much more aggressive, pure speed machine. It's meant for like short distances. It's got a more aggressive riding position and a lot less fuel capacity. And then there's a naked version of it as well, which is the ZH2. But this is the one I would buy. This is the one that makes sense for me and my riding style. I think this is the most practical of the three, if there is such a thing as a practical bike with 197 horsepower. The only thing is, you need to exercise a lot of self-control with this motorcycle. I really don't think anyone under 30 years old should have a bike like this. I'm 45 now, and I think I'm just at a point where I can keep this thing in check enough, or at least control my speed so I'm not going to lose my license with it. But the acceleration from this bike when you get on it is unlike anything you can experience in a car, anything on another motorcycle because of the supercharger. It's just, the power is always there. There's never a lag, there's never a delay. Whatever RPM you're at, whatever gear you're in, you turn the throttle 1/8 of an inch and you're right in the power. It's unbelievable. So this is one of the many awesome pre-owned bikes we have at Nash Power Sports. This thing is a gem. It's amazing. I'm absolutely in love with this bike. Hit me up if you have any questions, or come in and check it out. See me at Nash Power Sports. Have a great day.